Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a Curse Entertainment presentation brought to you by Alienware. We're going into this game 2 between Qpandas and Dignitas, and it is going to be an interesting one here. First game going the way of Dignitas. They just took it away very, very nicely. Great initiation, great presence of mind. The tri-lane wasn't as effective as they intended to be, but their mid-game certainly was. Transitioning it out with a Storm Spirit Nyx combo, which was just devastating, and although Singh was very farmed up, he couldn't do it alone. So, knocking it out of the park, Dignitas take game 1, and we'll see who can take the match away here in this lower bracket match 1 for, again, the Curse Invitational. So going on to the draft here, I myself am Blazed, joined by Merlini. How's it going, man?
It's really showing why they're a direct TI3 invitee, just decimating the other lanes. Yes, sure, they did lose out on a couple of kills on top lane, but they played pretty much flawlessly from the 25-minute until the very end of the game. So very nice play by them, and the draft will get underway, but no bans as of yet. Already dipping into reserve time for the very first ban.
Yeah, a little bit contemplative about it. Obviously, the draft didn't work as much in their favor as they had hoped last time around. First of all, they picked up the Phantom Lancer without the kind of standard foundational groundwork of picking up a Keeper of the Light plus a setup hero. So in this case, they did have great stuns and the tri-lane worked, but it wasn't like dominant. It wasn't uncontested entirely, so that has its limitations. And then I got to go back a little bit to that Darkseer ban that was their second ban alongside a Queen of Pain and a Puck. If they'd taken out the Storm Spirit there, they would have been in much better shape. I mean, honestly, it was all about those Nyx bombs, all about the movement of that Storm Snake King, really, really on point, and I really don't feel like a Darkseer would have had nearly as much potential to disrupt what Qpad had going for them.
I definitely agree with you there, and it looks like Singh will actually ban out Magnus. I think this is a good ban from them. Staking plays a very, very good Magnus, and it didn't really seem like Magnus did that much for them, even at being able to empower the very farm melee carry and force into like a turtle passive mode from 30 minutes on. I just didn't really feel the impact of Magnus for him, so can't play with it, can't play against it, just take him out. So looks like Nyx and Wisp will be the bans from Team Dignitas, and Magnus and Bat from Qpad Red Pandas.
So, what do you think is going to be the hero that's most contested? What do you think is the hero that has to take the highest priority right here?
I think Keeper of the Light. I mean, they have the option to run a very similar lineup to last game, except their triple lane can be a little bit stronger, especially with Keeper of the Light. I think he is a top-tier pick, and the other ones, I don't know. We usually see Nake's top pick, but he is banned out, and Lone Druid instead will be the first pick for Qpad Red Pandas.
So that's going to be very, very powerful. Of course, they can run that on the offlane. Previously, it was Select running the offlane, but they've switched up their roles a little bit up in their roster, and I think Waga's going to be the one picking that up. Either way, though, a great hero for a great amount of presence. We saw that at work with AOE 2000, beating out the Clockwork by a decent margin, and then from there, just putting so much damage in the towers. So they have a lot of push. Team Dignitas answering back with a little bit of counter push, a little bit of initiation on anybody that clusters up here with this Darkseer selection for themselves. So really, really powerful. Can go in and just set up team fights nicely with the Vacuum and the Wall Replica, setting up AoE magic damage, dealing out physical damage through those illusions, and then of course he is extremely survivable in the offlane himself, so possibly gearing up for a 3 versus 1 type lane situation where it's just kind of 3-1-1. The carries will get guaranteed farm, but the offlaners are just going to try to survive as best they can.
And Lone Druid actually had like a much bigger impact than I expected him to last game. Yeah, he had free farm bottom for the first 20-25 minutes or so, but usually you see Lone Druid fall off, especially versus something like Phantom Laser, but he just continued to just demolish those towers and apply the pressure that he needed to T3 to end the game in a timely fashion. So Lone Druid, one of the top tier picks in the Western scene. I think he's considered a little bit more important in the Eastern scene, but first pick material nonetheless.
So Qpad has a pretty open pool to choose from. They go with the Shadow Demon Leshrac, which, as we were talking about, by picking up the Shadow Demon before the second banning phase, it makes sure that they will have a very, very solid lane. So they don't necessarily have to go for their carry just yet. Team Dignitas can't ban out all the carries in the world that will be able to work well with this combo. Leshrac and Shadow Demon already taking majority of the lane presence they need, and then they can add on whatever they want on top of it. Anything with a good stun, maybe an Alchemist or something like that, or anything that loves to just get free farm is going to have a great time alongside these two here. And again, if they do have some good disables along with it, we could actually see this turn into an aggressive tri-lane to put the pressure out. So I don't necessarily expect that, but if Qpad wants guaranteed farming the Lone Druid rather than some difficulty farming in the offlane, they definitely can gear in for that. But interesting pickup by Dignitas here. They're going to be running, I've seen Way Too Sexy played a lot, and Jungle Nature's Prophet that is in absence of a supportive hero. So they go ahead, they can run the Darkseer in the jungle, or sorry, in the off lane, and then they'll have Way 2's Prophet jungling it up. It will make their defensive lane weaker, but if they can keep it up, that's going to give them a lot of experience to work with.
Yeah, it looks like I was completely off with that Keeper of the Light. Just neither team either picking or banning in the second phase, but usually considered a top tier pick. Quite unusual for it not to be picked up this early. However, I think Qpad actually rates Leshrac much, much higher than other teams. We saw them picking up as hero number 3 for them last game and number 2, although it was interchangeable with Shadow Demon this time. Leshrac is decent, but there are other substitutions, and I think Leshrac really excels in a push lineup, but that was the opposite of their strategy last game. It was pretty much, okay, let's farm until 30 minutes and in seeing we trust, but it didn't really like click for them. I mean, it got them a couple of kills in the early game, but those ended up not really matter at all. And again, I'm a little bit questioning on this Leshrac pick as opposed to a very standard T1 pick like Keeper of the Light, who is excellent and in triple lanes as well as turtling.
Yeah, definitely would generally see the Keeper of the Light in that exact place where the Leshrac is, but one thing he does bring to the table is that Diabolic Edict, answering that with the Lone Druid with his Demolish passive at level 7. These two are going to be tower-pushing kings. Not necessarily in the same lane, but in separate ones. They're going to make it so that the Wrath of Nature isn't enough turtle for them, and Gyrocopter is going to be pressured a little bit harder, so they can go for a more early to mid-game carry, maybe like a Juggernaut or something like that, and do so much work here. But of course, it did get banned out, same thing with the Alchemist, so they do have less options. They do have to worry about when their timing is, and of course they want to make it where they're most effective in the 25 to 30 minute range, rather than waiting for that Gyrocopter to pull out, every item in the book, including a Divine. But yeah, right now, I definitely think that Qpad have a lot of potential to make their draft work. I'm curious about a couple of the bans, like they split up between supports and Queen of Pain. I'm not sure if they're going to draft a super powerful ultimate. That means they don't want the Rubik to be able to steal it, or if they just don't want to have to deal with Rubik in general. Clockwork is going to be a great thing for their lineup. I'm curious to see if Team Dignitas goes for one of the picks that they've been running a little bit more often, snaking on the Brewmaster, as it is a great counter to the Lone Druid and any right-click oriented heroes.
Snaking's just very flexible player. He can play most of the intelligence solo mids. I don't think I've seen him on Puck, but I've definitely seen him on Queen of Pain, seen him on Storm Spirit last game, although Queen of Pain is banned out. Storm Spirit is still in the pool. I saw him play Beastmaster yesterday. Magnus banned out, but still a couple mid heroes left for Team Dignitas if they choose to run Nature's Prophet and Darkseer in a silent. I actually saw Snaking solo mid with Nature's Prophet yesterday,
Nice.
So that might actually be his hero.
Yeah, actually, with seeing this Bane pickup, that actually seems more and more likely. They could run a mid-Prophet and have that much more potential to gank early on, breaking up the teleport a little bit here and there. He can kind of turn engagements from maybe a 3 versus 3 to a 4 versus 3, or just adding in +1 to any little skirmish early on. It'll help them control the lanes more effectively. Of course, there will be some tree cutters early on to deal with him, but a mid-Prophet, a lot scarier in a ganking sense compared to a jungle one, and as such, it could be a pretty big threat. We'll see with this final pick if they do end up picking something up completely for the mid, or if they go for another support and run that Prophet as such.
So we see Qpad completely switched gears with this one, not playing a 4 protect 1 kind of defensive line, but instead going almost all out with the aggression here. Only one true carry in the form of Lone Druid, and just a lot of aggressive heroes. Shadow Demon, Leshrac, one of the strongest combos in the game, especially roaming around at level 1, level 2. You see Clockwork, pretty defensive heroes, but once he turns level 6 can start some great team fights and ganks with Hookshot, and we see Bounty Hunter. So a little bit curious how they're going to lane it. I'm pretty sure we can tell just by the picks, but it looks like Team Dignitas again has a very well-rounded lineup. Nice mix of AoE, late game, mobility, and team fight just all around.
Interesting setup right here. They have Universe on the Darkseer, but they have a Puck picked up for Fogged. So in this positioning, is Snake King going to be giving up the mid back to Fogged, him kind of going back to his old roots as that solo mid player, and then they'll have the Nature's Prophet in the jungle on Snake King? It seems a little odd given their compositions, unless we do see some swaps come through and a little bit of mind games at work here. But yeah, it's really, really interesting to see their current roster on this draft.
Yeah, I think they just have really strong individual players. Fog, again, as you said, was a solo player before he recently shifted into the support role, but I think he was an excellent solo mid and often caused a lot of victories for Dignitas single-handedly. And we see LeBron... Oh, yeah.
So that's what I was curious about. They are going to probably put Fog in the jungle here, and then Snake King will go on the mid. And I gotta say, you mentioned that you haven't really seen Snake King pick up Puck. You are in for a treat, my friend, because this guy plays it up there with the best. It's really, really good as far as his initiation potential. I mean, you might be able to compare it directly to Korok. They had that same kind of aggressive initiation style, and I'm expecting to see some plays made very, very early on this guy.
And introducing Qpad's lineup, we have Seeing the Captain on Clockwork solo middle this time. We have Mini on Shadow Demon, Select on the Lone Druid, Wagawama on the solo offlane Bounty Hunter, and JRX on the Leshrac.
So finishing out real quick on Dignitas, we do have Aoi up on the top Gyrocopter. We are seeing that Way Too Sexy is opting for that Bane, supporting up on the top lane. So Snake King again on that Puck in the mid. Then the Universe is going to go on the off lane, leaving Fog for the jungle, focusing on probably our early Hand of Midas with the fact that Clarity is just setting him up to spam out those trees.
Yeah, and looking at his items right now, I'm not really sure where his gold went. He has 3 Clarities, 2 branches, so that's around 250 gold, but he only has 47 gold left, so I'm not really sure where that extra 300 gold went. Maybe just Observer Wards and Chicken, I suppose?
I believe, yeah, he bought the Courier because he is playing kind of in absence of the support, so he does need to do a little bit for his team there.
And yeah, this Bane actually has a lot of items: Observer, Sentries, Branch, Tango, Clarity, and Salve. So just load it up there.
What do you think about Sing Sing's starting item build? I mentioned this again before.
Don't miss top lane.
Oh, actually, really going for hard. Oh my gosh, there's going to be a first blood right here. Going, and I think, yeah, it's going to be JRX to pick it up. They got the Haste Rune Snipe. They got the perfect disruption block. There was no hope at all for the Bane there. So Way 2 gets dropped down early. An aggressive Observer. I love this Observer placement. Going in, Prophet's going to be farming up this easy camp. He won't know this ward is necessarily there because of the block. Hopefully he knows because of the fact they did have an Observer of their own up to kind of see his positioning. But even so, they are going to have some issues very, very early on trying to get some dedicated farm of this Prophet in any reliable sense.
And looks like Qpad is off to a really good start, much different from last game. I think it was a nice move by Wagamaba just being there. They kind of baited the rune out, and it looked like the Shadow Demon was trying to run for it, but Bane was much, much closer. But what he didn't know was that there was an Invis Bounty Hunter just sitting right on top of the haste and just completely running away with there. So nice surround there afterwards to secure that first blood.
Good bait, and now 3-man smoke gang coming in. Bane in another bad spot. There's the Janata disruption, and the Splitters will follow. Should be another kill. We'll see. Oh my goodness, JRX mistiming it slightly, a little bit too early. Will it cost him the kill? 2 right clicks will come out, and it will be enough to follow it up here. JRX takes a quick little pinprick from the tower, but they do net that frag in the end.
So it looks like they actually switched up the lanes. Originally, they were headed bottom, but it looks like they're blowing another smoke, just looking for blood yet again.
Yeah, just staying very, very active. I think they were kind of looking aiming for the Nature's Prophet given their movements, but now just finding the opportunities possibly in the mid lane. Snake King without any mana to orb. This is a 25-second period where he is extremely vulnerable, and they're going to move on in, maybe for the kill, but they know that also that that Fog has gone into the east and now is caught out by himself. They actually missed it again. JRX, what is wrong with you, buddy? This is actually, people are going to ask it, but it's on Luxembourg server, so they shouldn't be missing these. And instead, yeah, not timing it appropriately, they do miss another kill opportunity. Well, yeah, they did miss the first one, to be fair, but...
Yep, 2 smokes already blown for that, but I mean, still getting 2 kills is not bad at all, but one of them was due to Bane's poor positioning on this top rune.
Speaking of Bane's positioning down at bottom, going in, Iron Shield and Surge active on the Lone Druid. He's going to take a lot of hits here, getting almost blocked in the trees, trying to juke around in impossible fashion. There's going to be a Nightmare. There's big blocks coming out of Universe. There's really very little places for him to go. He is going to tango up, though, and be safely under the tower. The Bane definitely at level 1 cannot go any further. JRX is giving him a little backup, though, coming in on top of Universe. He does have the Surge. Here's going to be the disruption, though. Perfect timing. JRX, please hit the stun. Locking him in place. There's the right click to follow it up, and Universe is going to get some early setbacks that it will be a little bit difficult to overcome.
Yeah, so great movement by Qpad in the last game. I'm glad to see that they went with the very, very easy to set up SD stun as opposed to the Shaker this game. Looks like Sing's doing pretty well in middle, though. 9 last hits, actually quite a bit more for Sing. 13 for him. Snake King does have to live in constant fear of these ganks, so he is able to phase shift the Split Earth if it comes immediately out of the disruption, but still, he does have to constantly worry for these 2 supports moving about.
Again, the Universe going to try to come on in to help out here. In this situation, Mini and Fog have been dueling it out, but here comes that damage. Ion Shell right click should be enough to bring down Mini. Oh, but they get a defensive disruption. He should still fall, but now focusing out onto Fog. Mini falls, Fog next, and now Universe in a bit of a rough patch. He will be able to surge. The timing is the question, but with 2 Ion Shells and the beautiful blocks, huge Treant movement, and with this last surge, they should be able to bring down Select. Ion Shell expiring, bottling up though, trying to juke around the trees here. The Treants, oh my goodness, he needs to close on in. There is a Soul Catcher, a lot of damage going to be received by him, but with this last surge, he might be able to get another kill. No, he's blocked on in. There's a disruption. Perfect timing to disrupt the surge, but unfortunately, do they miss a stun? Either way, the last right click's bottling up. Universe still on the run, salving even, just to survive. He will be able to get on out of here with this last surge movement. Missing a call. Oh no, he's not done. He's going to Mini without any disruption. This should be a kill. Jarek's with the last stun, but it is juked on out, and now Universe has a chance for a double kill. Going on Mini, big damage coming out, getting some blocks from the Stout Shield, and he gets both of them. Universe with a double kill. Man moaning up. Against all odds, he takes 2 down, and the Lone Druid fell as well. Is that a Prophet TP that brought him down? Yes. Nature's Prophet jumping on in, grabbed a TP scroll, and was able to snipe off the Lone Druid as well. Great movement out of Dignitas.
So the kill score is 4-4 right now, but I must say the lack of coordination on these 2 supports for Qpad is really hurting them. We see a disrupt overlap with a stun. We've seen a couple of missed stun from JRX, and they could be really in a good position to run away with this early game had they had a little bit better coordination. But it looks like Wagamon will be zoned out on top because of the Sentry Ward, and Aoi will get a lot of free hits on this tower.
Yeah, so this is gonna... The problem is, all that pressure out on bottom, all the movement of supports, it ended up being that they're leaving the top lane completely in the hands of the Bounty Hunter, who has no counter push. And so, they're not getting kills down there, they're just leaving him in the wind. And, yeah, Gyrocopter is able to get a ton of farm, moving up to 21 last hits. It's on par with everybody else on top of the board. And, along with that, of course, he has been able to put a lot of damage into the tower. So, it's gonna get a lot more difficult for Team Dignitas, or for Qpad, and they're being just falling behind right now. They've lost kills, they've lost momentum, and Darkseer is now level 6. I mean, he's just skyrocketed as far as his solo experience.
I'm surprised to see no Orb of Venom pick up on the Spirit Bear. Just a little bit of extra damage there, I think, would have secured a kill on Darkseer right there, but nice play by Fog there, choosing to be very active in this early game as opposed to the AFK, let me farm my Midas Shadow play.
Nice movement from Sing Sing, though. Connects the hook shot on top of Fog. They had the vision of the Bounty Hunter, and now they're going to go in for more. They do have this Battery Assault, but actually I think it ticked once. I think they could have followed through with maybe possibly Cogs and a Janata Strike, but just going to fall back from here. They did get some nice damage, got a free pickoff, and that does bring Bounty Hunter very, very close to his level 6.
Yep, and Sing will have some rune luck. Picks up a haste rune on top and checking CS in middle. Puck is actually coming out quite ahead. 30 last hits for him and only 22 for the Clockwork in terms of the safe lane farmer. Gyrocopter actually with a lot less than I expected.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
30 last hits is 6 minutes in, so that's around 50 creeps spawned and only 30 last hits. I guess is a little bit less. I don't know. I wasn't watching top lane just because most of the action has been on bottom.
Yeah. Very, very active on down there. So, I don't know. Yeah, the Bane was down there for a while, so I guess it was for a while a 1 versus 1 between the Gyrocopter and the Bounty Hunter, which is less than ideal for him. But still, I do feel he is a bit behind as far as the last hits. Might need to work on that a little bit if he wants to move in towards big core items. It looks like he's going for Phase and Bassi, and can go in for like Magic Wand or Drums. Just some good, reliable items. Or if we know Aoi 2000, he's probably just going to go for like a Shadow Blade or something like that and blow us out of the water.
And Fog actually making decent headway on his Midas. He does have his Gall of Haste as well as an early boost pickup and a TP scroll. So again, he's being very active. I think this is very good for them to sort of counter Qpad's early movement. They've been very effective with, or pretty effective with the Shadow Demon Leshrac room, but it looks like they're just resorting to stacking up and getting a little bit of level just so they don't die to Puck. Puck, we haven't really seen too much just farming out of the middle. Already level 7 though.
Yeah, it's interesting though. Sing Sing matched up against this Puck here. If you had a haste rune on a Clockwork against any other hero, that would be an easy kill. But Snake King, all he has to do is Orb Phase Shift, and he is completely on out of there. And now he's actually going to go in. Dream Coil will connect. He will pop off the Cogs as well as intentionally break that coil. Hasting away here, good movement. And the TP from the Prophet won't be enough to steal the deal here. So they do get the Brain Sap off, but he walks away with 120. And the Prophet, having just used his TP, won't be able to go for another snipe.
Yep, and checking net worth graph, looks like Puck and Lone Druid are pretty much dead even, or right around 2,900, and Gyrocopter and Sing very close behind, Sing on Clockwork, of course, and again, just very mixed in terms of gold advantage and XP advantage this early game.
Yeah, Very, very close, for at least for the moment. The laning phase kind of going either way. Right now is the timing window for Qpad to really step it up, though. We mentioned they don't really have a great hard carry. Lone Druid will be able to if push comes to shove, but they need to get a little bit more gold on the table, and that's in the hands of the Bounty Hunter. Waga does have his phase, orb, and his track available. Just needs to get into the fights that will actually net the kills, so that's what they're looking for here. And they do have some great opportunities. Again, Puck is survivable, but the rest of the other heroes are pretty easy to bring down. Darkseer, a little harder, but the Shadow Demon and Leshrac certainly have the tools to make it happen.
Clockwork is actually very good at killing Darkseer.
Sure.
If you just find him and trap him in the cogs, you can't really do anything away from him. Sure,
oh, go down snaking. There's the hook shot. There's the cogs getting the track off, but there will be a waiting rift turning things around. Snaking uses orb already, and that's gonna be his death. Yeah, casting out that orb was the timing window. Just got the vector off for a very, very solid hook shot, and it just so happened Bounty Hunter was there to set up the track.
Yep, and Dignitas is actually very lacking in map vision right now. They don't have any wards up on the map, so Snaking just really suffering from their lack of vision.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they could move Treants around a little bit to get some vision in the river, but as a whole, yeah, they just need better observer wards, and right now, Bane can't afford it. He's only just now picked up his boots. He's very mana-reliant early on, so at this stage, being a level 4 and kind of the sole support, they're going to be lacking on that vision for quite some time, so that is going to be a limiting factor. It looks like Snaking's going to pick up the slack a little bit and drop some for himself, as he just really doesn't want to be 4-man Doto'd in the mid lane anymore.
So kill score 6-4 in favor of Qpad. XP graph just barely in favor of Dignitas, and the gold earned just barely in favor of Dignitas. So I mean, they're slightly behind in kills, but doing very well on the farm and XP on their supports.
Yeah, this observer ward just placed on the top rune spawn, though, by the Ancients, is not going to be able to stay long. There is going to be a Dream Call, a lot of right clicks. The Orb and Wrath of Nature should be enough to finish it off. Yeah, there is going to be way to pick up the kill. So good movement, good timing with that of Fogg's ultimate. But they were able to get that kill, and now the Fiend's Grip on Shadow Demon. He doesn't have much HP, so a couple right clicks will be able to finish it off here, and some more experience for Fog. He does drop down the maximum number of Treants, and now they can push in this tier 1 tower. Snaking has already been pinpricking away, sieging it down to 560 HP, and with this wave of creeps along with the Treants, they should be able to bring it down, but it seems like Fog is hesitating. Is there any reason for them to fall back here?
I mean, I don't really think so. I mean, both of the heroes are already up. It's still very low level, but I think this Observer Ward was very instrumental in them scoring those 2 kills.
Sure. Fog, here comes Sing, trying to force them back. Fog is going to take a lot of damage here, and despite a good vacuum, he's still going to take a fall in the end. Now, we do see him taking a lot of damage, but defensive disruption should keep him up here. There is going to be a Janata strike with that track onto Snaking. Going to be dropped very, very low, but he has that magic wand, has the bottle, has a couple of tools at his disposal. He's baiting him hard. He goes for he locks him in place. The Nightmare does destroy 1 tower attack, but here is Universe trying to bring him down quickly. There's the Brain Sap. There is that Iron Shell damage, and they net that kill. Beautiful timing from Snaking. He saved that magic wand. He's like, come and get me, under tower, and then he does the orb phase jaunt combo to get out of danger there. Really, really clutch.
Nice play by him, and they scored the first tower of the game in the form of Qpad's first tower, but Slick just free-farming away on bottom. It looks like he has almost his armlet completed, but this T1 tower is still up, but Mini will come in for reinforcement.
Yeah, that was very, very dangerous, walking the line, but they take so much out of it. The tier 1 tower gold, along with those hero kills, you can see now they're setting at very, very close to 3,000 gold advantage, when it was pretty much even only minutes before. We are seeing Select answering back now with the Lone Druid right clicks, Battlecry doing work on this tower, and it is a level 9 Druid, so he's going to be able to finish this off no problem. There is, however, a fortification. It looks like we're just waiting for it to be in deny range. They are going to be able to know a big initiation down on bottom. There is that Dream Coil, there is that Waiting Rift, there is going to be a kill onto Jarex in just a moment, and with a Wrath of Nature going across, they might get Select too. Big vacuum going across. Universe in the midst of things, doing a lot of damage with those little spikes that could. Anyways, Mini going to take a lot of hits here. Dodges out the orb, but that just puts Snaking in the right position to get 2 right clicks in to finish the job here. Good movement there. They're almost killing Mini, but he does Magic Wand, at least to stay alive for a moment, leading them on a bit of a wild goose chase before taking a fall. That sets up Sing to get the kill on top of the Darkseer, bringing him down. Universe not able to get on out of that one. So good movement, good time bought, and now they can try to initiate on Snaking. Orb up in 3 seconds, though. It's going to be difficult. Closing on in. They just Rocket Flare him. They're trying to bait it out right now, but he has 9 stick charges. Very, very good timing. Oh, nice. Canceled the stun from Jerax. Now he is stunned on out, but there is the Nature's Prophet to help on out. Fog doing lots of right clicks onto Sing Sing, and not going to be able to finish the job. Either way, there's a defensive disruption. Mini onto the Lesh, but there is going to be some damage coming on out. Should be able to finish off Jerax here. The fight continues. Lone Druid back on in it. Drops off his true form, has the bear, ready to right-click down on Fog Dodo. We see Snaking closing in, bringing down Mini. Good movement there. Now we do see the Sprout and Fog is dueling it out, has a cage match with this bear, and he's not going to let it drop right now, finishing off Fog with a couple more right clicks. No! He gets a TP. He got entangled up at first, but he bought a TP scroll from the side shot and was able to just barely get out. Now we see the Darkseer wall replica drop down. Everybody pounding away at this Lone Druid, and as much armor as he has, it should be enough to finish him off here. They're snaking, jumping on in, and even seeing Sing in a rough patch. He drops down one of the cogs, but here's Fog on the back end, finishing off another kill. Will this end? Bane drops down underneath the tower. Bounty Hunter picking up a kill. Wagamama going on it. Fog taking a lot of hits here. He will fall. He just took too many tower right clicks, and now going in on top of Universe. He is stuck inside the cogs. Will be able to bring down Waga, but Sing Sing in a great spot to duel it out. Actually, falling back here, has to pop off his ultimate at the splitter, perfectly baited by Sing and Jerax, bringing down Universe, and that is quite a fight to end.
Yeah, what a bloody fight. I'm surprised Bounty Hunter wasn't there earlier. He actually got picked off up top. He got Fiend's Grip into a call down, and he died to those two heroes up top, but just constant fighting at bottom. You'd think that Qpad would get a little bit ahead on gold for that from the track kills, but it looks like they're actually really far behind, and they're trailing by 4 kills right now, about 6,000 gold and 6,000 experience in the way of them. I must say, I'm not really liking these defensive disrupts from Mini. A couple times I think they've actually killed him, and usually you want to disrupt the aggressor after the spells have already been used, but Snaking looks like he might be gone on right now. Yeah,
they'll try, but he has that Blink Dagger, he has the Orb, he's going in deep. The Bounty Hunter will be able to do some damage here and actually interrupt the Fiend's Grip, but it's too late. They've already gotten the kill on towards that Shadow Demon, now doing a lot of damage to Lone Druid. Waga on the run as well. Will take a few hits, but it's going to be the Select to fall first. Big right clicks coming out. They chase him down. Nice hook shot from Sing. Will they survive? No. Select drops down to the Orb. Waga, oh my goodness, he broke his invisibility and now is in a really bad spot. He is backing back on in. The right clicks are there. He dropped a couple tracks, but he will pay for it with his life here. The tier 1 as well. They just jumped in way in over their heads, and it's not working out for them. Generally speaking, in this situation, the Bounty Hunter tracks make it so that 1-for-1 exchanges will go in favor of Qpad, but first of all, these are not 1-for-1. Dignitas taking some amazing bounties out of this, and along with that, Bounty Hunter, as you mentioned, was dropped down before the first fight even happened, so they only got a few track kills on the board, and we do see this substantial advantage for Dignitas, and it's just going to start rolling out of control.
Yeah, Qpad is not winning the push war even with the Silver, and they're not winning the fighting war with... Oh,
yeah, good initiation from Snaking. Gonna be able to bring down Mini here and actually still lock down Jerax. That's 2 kills. Snaking just set up perfectly. Earns both of them very nicely. Interesting placement of the Sprout by Fog, but just making sure the retaliation couldn't come, and now they take yet another free kill. And with this, towers are all pushed in, and they could even look towards Roshan pretty soon. Not outright, but in a very short period of time. They have the mechanism, the Treants, and there's no towers for Qpad to TP to. So in this position, they can just rocket flare it down, keep tabs on it, but Dignitas have such control of the map and just such control of the entire battlefield.
Yep, and as far as the net worth graph goes, we see 4 of 4 heroes on top for Dignitas, and Puck just a clear winner, 8,600 gold, even with that 1 death in middle. He's still 9-1, looking very pretty right now, and looks like they will try and backstab with these 2 invis heroes.
Yeah, 2 invis, then gets a double cog off. They aren't going to be able to get the ultimate of Bane off. There's no possibility. Nice brain sap comes on through to keep him up for a moment, but Shadow Demon's already fallen just from a quick pick, and the answer back is that kill on the Bane, which was a track kill. Now getting a couple tracks up here. Owie goes into the Shadow Blade, double damage, flat cannon, but cannot unfortunately see Waga, and won't be able to actually make use of that cooldown.
Yeah, and Snaking actually has a Dagon, and he's just owning these.
I was wondering how that Shadow Demon dropped in like half a second, but you know, that lasers is always the answer there.
And just a really quick reaction by Snaking there, able to blink out as soon as he got called and just straight up just kill the Shadow Demon right there. Very nice reflexes by him.
Absolutely. Now looking at Roche, they're going to be able to bring this down pretty quickly. Do you think that Qpad has an answer for this?
I mean, they have vision that they can get with the rocket flare, but I don't think they're in any position to contest this. You really don't want to take static fights like this, just because Bounty Hunter's usually very vulnerable to Sentry Wards, as we see
right here. Sing Sing connecting onto Bane once more. This is his target of choice, so he can't get the Fiend's Grip, but gets vacuumed out instead. Now Bane is able to cast whatever he wants. Sing Sing getting defensive disruption again by Mini. Not the best. It does delay the damage, shifts the focus, but Waga taking a lot of hits here, gets finished off by Snaking. Couple tracks on the field. The Entangle proc might be able to bring down the Bane. He does, however, get the Nightmare. Oh, living with 10 HP. Will be able to fall back while Owie just cleans it up. Anybody in the Roche pit takes a fall immediately, and the 2 on the run are getting dropped down by Snaking, who's been chasing this entire freaking time. Just going along the distance. Go again for the touchdown. We do see Sting is able to get on out of there, but They lost so much here, and my goodness, I don't even want to look at this graph. Gold going immensely in the way of Dignitas, experience even more so. This is just too painful to watch.
Yeah, Qpad just grasping for straws right now, desperately trying to get back in the game, but Dignitas giving them no room to breathe. Just nice entry, and I mean, they can't really do anything. They don't really have teamfight heroes. Their lineup is very gank-oriented and not much in the way of AoE except for Leshrac and the potential for a nice cog separation. But other than that, like, Dignitas' teamfight is just way strong with Darkseer call down into Dream Coil into a Gyrocopter ultimate. That's just really strong by itself, and that's on top of the wall of replica and the mech already completed by Darkseer. So Dignitas has the better comp for team fights, as well as like extremely high amounts of farm on each of their core heroes. It looks like Sing will try and get a hook on middle.
Yeah, Snaking on the run. Does get Demonic Purged up. This might finally be a kill. He's going to actually drop the Dream Coil and Waning Rift right here. Great dodge of the stun. Burst on the Leshrac before he does take a fall, but locking them in place. They could try to go for rotation. Instead, he gets stunned out. Locked in place by the Cogs. Hit up by the Shuriken. Nice Brain Sap, but it's not going to be enough to keep him alive here. Flak Hand and the call down. Dropping on down the wall. Replica to block their escape. They have to go towards the northwest, and that's not going to be an option for most of them. Dropping down, they lose the Lesh to Shadow Demon, the Clockwork. Now Select able to TP out just barely, but the Bear not so fortunate. So they do lose a lot here. Bounty Hunter on the run, and when Waga is constantly just running, cowering, hiding, and trying to stay alive, that's not where the Bounty Hunter wants to be. He needs to steamroll, and right now the steamroll is in full motion for Dignitas. They have a Dagon 3 on the Puck, a Dagon 1 on the Nature's Prophet. My goodness, this couldn't get any worse.
And really just making good use of the Furion. Furion also has a Dagon, so that double Dagon burst is probably too much for Qpad to handle at this point. The only relatively tanky hero is Lone Druid, and Clockwork a little bit with his point boosted pickup, but still quite a bit away from his Scepter.
No mech, no pipe. How do you feel about the fact that Sing Sing opted not to go for the mechanism?
I think they need whatever team fight they can, especially since Dignitas has just been grouping up. Fogs?
Yeah, he's tracked up, so this should be a kill, but actually no Shuriken available, so they don't get the opportunity. Instead, a lot of damage coming in Waga. Waga will actually just try to go on top of Owie. If he had actually gone out right there, he would have died immediately to Nature's Prophet's ultimate, but yeah, in the end, the tower kill goes once again to Dignitas. Oh, Mini, what's Mini doing? That is just not good for him at all. So he gets dropped very, very quickly. Owie picking up that kill. And yeah, right now we're seeing 14-2-8 for the Puck and 5-0-5 for that Gyrocopter. In the base, Snaking.
Nice hook shot by Sing there.
Yeah, I didn't even catch that. I couldn't fathom they'd possibly be base diving, but in this game, why the heck not? Snaking goes in deep, but he does pay the price for it with apparently, yeah, hook shot locking him in place and them dropping him down.
Yeah, but he hookshot him during the orb was cast so that he couldn't jaunt, and he was stun locked during that duration. But looks like Qpad is only left with their T3 towers up right now, and a significant gold deficit, almost 20,000 in favor of Dignitas right now, and XP similar. And these Dagons are just, doing work. I thought that Qpad was going to be aggressive with their lineup, but Dignitas just running away with these kills, almost double the kills of Qpad right now.
Yeah, exactly. They've just been racking it up, 31-16, and that doesn't show signs of slowing. Right now, they are just all over the place, just dominating. And yeah, as far as survivability, they have their own mechanism. Again, Qpad does not, and they can burst people down in moments. As long as they don't unnecessarily focus Sing Sing, who has that blade mail, they're going to be in a prime position to just bring this down very, very quickly. They can just break the base with the current Aegis, or wait for another one if they really feel like it.
Yeah, and again, Qpad is forced in his defensive position simply because they lost the early game too hard, and they don't really have the heroes for it this game. They don't have any significant game-changing ultimates like Magnus RP or Echo Slam this time, and looks like Dignitas will take full advantage of that and continue to apply pressure in the middle and bottom lane.
Any idea what Sing Sing is doing in this position? Just going for like a solo pick, or?
Yeah, I think he's trying to look for Fury.
But they're going on in. Snaking goes for the burst. There is a nice disruption, but he's on like 5 HP. Does dodge it out. Snaking doesn't connect with the Waning Rift and instead gets dropped down himself. He has buyback, but of course he is going to have to TP to tier 1 all the way running to the base. But right now we are seeing Bane take a lot of hit. Beautiful wall, beautiful vacuum inside the cogs. The illusions are doing damage. Bane is still alive with the magic wand, with the brain sap, but he is taking a fall in the end. Will Snaking be able to make an impact? Apparently he didn't have TP, or he canceled it. Yeah, he already TP'd in and it's on cooldown, so he won't be able to make an impact. Instead, it's just Owie trying to clean things up here. Dagon comes out to burst down the Leshrac. Waga sending a right click the other direction. Howie gets entangled. This could be his death. Monkey King Bar is not going to save you here, but certainly the Aegis will. He'll put that down in the grave, come back up in 5 seconds, and here they're ready to rumble. The Hogs is great positioning from Sing Sing, pushing them out of the base, creating a very artificial wall to keep them out of position here, but that's only going to delay them. They're flat hitting up the cliff, snaking, jumping on in with that blink. Huge burst damage to Taken as well. Unstoppable spree for I2000, and in the end, he does get another kill with the flat cannon trailing on after. Waga dueling it out with Fog, but he doesn't get the kill. The Shadow Poison, however, will finish the job. 1 racks down on bottom, buybacks everywhere because they can, and in this position, 37-19, Dignitas look like they almost want to end it here.
Yeah, I just saw a Sting hookshot, but I'm not exactly sure what it hit. But looks like all 5 heroes are already up for Dignitas. Everyone there except for the Bane Elemental.
Yeah, they're going to go in. They do have a couple tracks up. This could be an opportunity to rebound, but Snaking says otherwise. Jumping on in, even somebody's tanking his lone druid falls in seconds. And now the call down with Sing Sing trapped in the Sprout. No way to get on out of here. Disruption will help a little bit, but still taking a lot of hits. Is going to be able to phase with that track movement speed. Stay on top of things. Beautiful splitter from Jerax. Doing a lot of damage here, but the vacuum pushes them back. They get the kill on the support, but they still aren't able to finish the job here. Trapped in Sprout once again. Still stuck here, and it is Puck to dish out that damage. Fog does get entangled up, though, and Snaking's going to have to go on the run. A simple orb, a simple phase might be enough here, but taking a lot of hits, and he should just die. The last right click gets phased. Oh, my goodness. Track still closing in, though. The blink, 1 second. He will get the blink off, but they're just very, very swift. Unless this orb timing is perfect, he might fall with this last right click coming out from the bear. He phases. He doesn't jaunt, though. Not sure about that, and now he will take a fall. But a long wild goose chase. He's down for the count for 70 seconds with his buyback on CD. But they still feel extremely confident about their position here.
Only 1 rack's down for Qpad, but they managed to pick up a lot of track kills right there, and a small blip up on the graph there. They may be able to take a tower out of this, considering there's only 2 heroes up for Dignitas, and still Bear with his completed armlet will do some good work on this tower. He has 1,500 gold right now. I expect him to probably go Maelstrom next, and they have some very aggressive wards right here. We see this one inside the base from Team Dignitas, and these supports are just food for these Dagons. Let's see what level Dagon Puck has. Still level 3.
A lot of damage coming on to Universe here. He got entangled up, I think, twice over, but another wall, another vacuum, and now it's time for Owie to dish out his damage here. The right leg's mini still survives for the moment. Fog closing on in, though. He has Shadow Blade, he has Phase, he can get out the damage. Actually, just right clicks a creep for the flat cannon to go on through. That 1,000 radius, just a little OP, but using it to effect there, they're going to be able to bring him down, and now trying to close the distance here. There's going to be the Bounty Hunter healing up in the fountain, the cogs to push them out, at least for the moment. But still a lot of damage coming forth, and I'm not sure if Qpad can hold off for any longer.
Yep, and they're only fighting 3 strong at the moment, but no glyph up for yet another 2 minutes. Looks like this T3 will probably go down very, very fast. No lightning storm on the left track to push out this creep wave, but looks like Dignitas will retreat for the moment until that next wave comes in. Checking status of Roshan. Roshan is still 2.5 minutes up until respawn.
Yeah. Things just started off really, really bad for Qpandas. The big deal was that double kill for the Darkseer. If they had just gotten a quick pick on him, healed up, had no problems, great. But they had 3 versus 2 for quite some time. And although they did bring down the Nature's Prophet, losing the Lone Druid and 2 supports right then, going in 3 versus 2, and losing all 3 heroes, it's just something you can't afford at that stage. So momentum, I think that was kind of the defining point. Usually we see it more towards the mid-game, but very, very early on we saw Dignitas taking this advantage, and they haven't let go. Snaking going on in. He does some damage, but with this phase shift, doesn't really have to worry about things. Actually going in for a big Dagon, but now getting hookshotted in. Snaking will fall. A little bit overzealous, a little bit overconfident. Fiend's Grip going on top of Sing Sing. Waga cannot shuriken. There's a vacuum coming on top. Select will be dropped, and it looks like they are going to bring down Sing Sing as well. Waga Mama, they have detection. They have the Sentry Ward here. He will be able to invis. Cogs really screwing over. Way too sexy here, but it doesn't really matter. The GG comes out in the end, and they know that they have been beaten. They have been stomped right here as Dignitas just pulled this away 45-25 in only 27 minutes. What a game.
What a game indeed. And Qpanda's lineup, they didn't really allow much room for error. We saw how costly those few mistakes were early, and again, they don't really have the team fight or the push to fall back on, so really having to capitalize on their early aggression. But Dignitas paying them back in kind with, again, 45 kills in 27 minutes. That is an outstanding amount.
Yeah. Just all over the top. Really, really good in their small skirmish play. I was kind of favoring Qpanda as far, you were talking about them being aggressive. I agreed with you. They in the right scenario, with the right setup, the right timing, they had the potential to smoke gank, they had the potential to go for long-range picks, with the clockwork, they had so much that they could be doing, but it just kind of all fell apart when the supports weren't finding levels, when the bounty hunter couldn't do anything against the push up top. Yes, he got his track, but how long was it until he got a track kill? Like, he didn't, I mean, maybe he got 1 or 2 relatively early in that, but then it was another 10 minutes before he actually got a 3 or 4 on the board. So, bounty hunter not really showing his impact here, and of course, just really, really good play from some very survivable heroes. Universe and Snaking, of course, taking it away, in my opinion, but the backup of the rest of their team really, really made it work too. So Dignitas showing why they have that invite to the International, and it's going to be Qpandas that have to go through the channels of the Western qualifier. We have high hopes for them there, but we'll have to see exactly what they're going to bring. Any other thoughts on the match here, man?
I'm just looking at the final skill board, and 15 deaths on mini. That is an absurd amount. Regardless, looks like Qpad will be eliminated from this tournament with is this lower bracket loss to Dignitas, the end for Qpad?
Yeah, I believe so, as I understand anyways.
So we'll have the next match coming up in around 40 minutes from now, I believe, and stay tuned for more action for the Cursed Invitational.